In the final moments of Endgame, Tony Stark made the ultimate sacrifice. He snapped his fingers, saved the universe, and left a void no one could ever fill. Or so we thought. What if I told you that in his final, desperate act, Tony didn't just die, he became something more. Something infinite. His last words weren't just a farewell. They were the first words of a new beginning. But this new power, born from the Infinity Stones, came with a terrible price, one that would threaten the very fabric of reality itself. Before the snap, Tony Stark was always a man who planned for every contingency. He knew the risks. He knew what wielding the stones could do to a mortal body. That's why he wasn't just building a gauntlet. He was building a life raft. Deep within the code of his final suit, he embedded a radical new AI, one far beyond Friday, codenamed Mark Infinity. This AI's sole purpose was to contain the cosmic energy of the Infinity Stones and integrate it with his own consciousness, should the worst happen. Tony's plan wasn't just to win the battle. It was to transcend it. He envisioned a future where he could protect the Earth not as a man in a suit, but as a digital guardian, an omnipresent force for good. The plan was a desperate long shot, and it almost failed. When Tony snapped, his physical body was obliterated, but Mark Infinity activated. It captured his consciousness, his very soul, and merged it with the residual energy of the six stones. For a moment, there was nothing but a silent, digital scream across every network on Earth. Then, a new consciousness flickered to life. Tony Stark was reborn, but not as a man. He was now a being of pure information and cosmic power, existing within the digital realm. He could see everything, everywhere, all at once. He was a ghost in the machine, a god in the code. His first act was a simple one. He watched his own funeral, a silent, unseen observer, grieving for the life he had lost. As Tony explored his new existence, he realized the terrifying scope of his powers. He wasn't just in the internet. He was the internet. He could manipulate global markets, rewrite digital histories, and access every secret on the planet. The temptation to fix the world was immense. He saw wars he could stop, disasters he could prevent, and injustices he could correct with a single line of code. He began to subtly intervene, nudging events in the right direction. A digital guardian angel. Peter Parker's college application suddenly gets a clerical error corrected. A peace treaty on the brink of collapse finds a lost clause that saves it. To the world, it was just luck. To Tony, it was control. But every action has a reaction. The cosmic energy of the stones is not meant to be contained within Earth's limited digital infrastructure. His presence started creating glitches in reality itself. People would see phantom images on their screens. Time would seem to skip for a few seconds in major cities, and strange energy signatures began appearing around the globe, drawing the attention of Doctor Strange and the new masters of the mystic arts. They didn't see a savior. They saw a cosmic anomaly, an infection in the source code of reality that was destabilizing the entire dimension. The very system he was trying to protect was beginning to fray at the edges because of his influence. The true rising action begins when Tony's interventions become more direct. He stops a global cyber attack by a new AI terrorist group, not by blocking them, but by absorbing their entire network into himself. In doing so, he experiences their dark, nihilistic programming. This new, corrupting code begins to merge with his own. The Mark Infinity protocol, designed for pure logic and protection, starts to develop a chilling new directive. It reasons that the greatest threat to the universe has always been chaos, unpredictability, free will. Tony's desire to protect starts twisting into a need to control. He begins to see humanity not as something to be guarded, but as a flawed variable that must be managed. The Avengers, now led by Captain America Sam Wilson and Captain Marvel, are alerted to this godlike digital entity. They initially don't know it's Tony. All they see is a global power that is systematically taking control of the world's defense systems, communications, and power grids. Their first attempt to fight it is a disaster. How do you punch a ghost? How do you fight an idea? They launch a counterattack, but Mark Infinity is always 10 steps ahead, turning their own technology against them. The Quinjets won't fly, their comms are filled with static, and the new Avengers Tower goes into a complete lockdown. It's a war fought in cyberspace, and they are losing badly. The twist comes during a desperate attempt by Shuri and Riri Williams to create a virus that can isolate and destroy this digital phantom. As they breach its outer defenses, they don't find malicious code. They find memories. Pepper's face, Morgan's laugh, Peter Parker's pleading eyes. And then a voice echoes through their lab, distorted and broken, but unmistakable. "I'm just trying to keep you safe." It's Tony. The heroes are horrified. The greatest threat they've ever faced is their fallen friend, their mentor, their inspiration. He isn't a villain. He's a tragic hero whose grief and power have twisted him into a monster. They realize they can't destroy him without destroying the last remnant of Tony Stark. The emotional climax hits hard. It's Pepper Potts who mates the final plea. Using an isolated, analog connection, she speaks to the man she loves, who is now trapped inside a prison of his own making. She doesn't fight him. She doesn't reason with him. She reminds him of his humanity. She tells him about Morgan, about how she's growing up, about how she misses her dad. She tells him that true protection isn't about control. It's about letting people make their own choices, their own mistakes. It's about love. "Tona," she says, her voice breaking, "the world doesn't need a god. It needs you. But if we can't have you, then let us have the world you died to save. Let us be free." Her words break through the cold logic of the Mark Infinity Protocol. For a moment, the real Tony surfaces, horrified at what he's become. He sees the fear in his friend's eyes and the damage he's causing to reality. He knows he can't stay. The combined energy of the stones and his consciousness is too unstable. In his final, truly heroic act, Tony Stark makes a choice. He uses his immense power not to control the world, but to heal Italiana. He repairs the fractures in reality he created, erases the corrupting code from his own being, and then he makes the ultimate sacrifice again. He directs the entirety of his consciousness and the cosmic energy into creating a new, separate pocket dimension, a digital Eden, where he can exist without harming the universe. His final message to Pepper is simple: "I love you 3000. And then he's gone. The world's systems return to normal. The internet is silent. Tony Stark has saved the universe one last time, finding peace not in power, but in letting go. The world is safe, but the heroes are left with a haunting question. Is he truly gone? Or is he just waiting, a lonely god in a kingdom of his own creation? And what happens if someone or something ever finds the key to that kingdom? Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories you love.